Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is I Mortify from the BMM Shoutcasting group, and we have a special treat for you today. I don't know if you've seen NACL's last broadcast. He featured the player Adrenaline, the Brood War veteran, the high-level diamond player. Well, he's back again this week, so I think we're in for an exciting match. He'll be spawning as the Red Protoss. And over here in this corner, we have Professor Wienerto, and I think that's a play on the word wiener. I'm not 100% sure. I think he's trying to be funny, trying to be cute. I don't know too much about this player, but I have to assume that he's an excellent player as well because, as we said, Adrenaline plays in the high diamond level of the game, and I don't think the matchmaking would pair him against a bad player, and let's say the bronze or silver league. So to get started over here, it looks like Adrenaline has laid down a pylon on 9 supply. This is pretty standard, nothing too out of the ordinary. There goes the chrono boost on the Nexus. Excellent play there to get get their economy going quicker. If we look back over at the Terran here, we've got an early barracks followed by a supply depot. Now this isn't completely typical. Normally we see the supply depot first. This you would think that it might be an indicator of more aggressive play, but I mean, they went down at relatively the same time, the barracks and the supply depot, so I'd still say it's fairly standard. It doesn't look like he's going to do anything crazy like a proxy. And looks like he's going to try to complete his wall up here with another supply depot. Getting a gas as well, so looks like, I don't know, maybe some type of starport play with Banshees, but you never know. That's generally pretty strong against the Protoss, especially if you can get a cloaked Banshee in there before you can get an observer. So going back to Adrenaline over here, looks like he's continuing to chrono boost out probes, this is just an excellent play. I think everybody could learn from this. I mean, oftentimes players let the energy on their Nexus just build up far too much, and you really need to be using that energy as soon as you can. You get the chance to chrono boost, you have to do it because you have to stay on top of that. You always want to use up all your chrono boosts. And look what we've got here. Looks like an early forge with photon cannons. This is a surprising play. I'm not really sure what he's going for here. Never really seen this before. Oh wait, okay, I see what he's doing. He's actually doing the flying V for the photon cannons. I don't know if any of the viewers out there have seen the movie The Mighty Ducks, but in that movie they have a flying V formation, and it makes their hockey team just that much more powerful, being in that V formation. You got the leader in the front, and it's pretty much works the same way with anything in life, video games, so Adrenaline being just being a pioneer of this technique in StarCraft, and he just opts to go for the V, the cannon V, and he's got some backup cannons over here, so just an excellent play. This is gonna fortify his front to the max. Nothing's getting in here for a while, so I think Adrenaline's gonna be pretty safe, throwing down another pylon, as you can see. Let's see what the Terran's doing over here. The Terran looks like he's pretty fortified as well. He's got a bunker here, I guess, to protect the front. Another one by the rocks, in case anybody tries to break down the rocks. So that's definitely a good play, being very defensive. Typical Terran turtle style, which is, helps win a lot of games. Looks like we've pumped out some early Marines, but, nothing too special over here, nothing too aggressive. We get the orbital command, obviously, so that's good. He called down a mule already. You have to call down those mules. It's imperative to call down the mules. I mean, you say, okay, yeah, you want to use scan, I want to scout, I want to know what my opponent's doing, but when you're in Diamond League, I mean, you know what your opponent's doing more often than not. You really don't need to be scanning their base, every 5 minutes. You just have to get that economy going and just crank out those mules. So great play here by the Professor. And looks like he's throwing down a factory as well as an engineering base, so this should be interesting. Maybe looking to get some upgrades for some units. Let's check back with Adrenaline. More cannons from Adrenaline. This is amazing. He's fortifying his Nexus, maybe to ward off against Reaper attacks, but I don't think they were getting in to begin with this cannon wall. This is just amazing defensive play here by Adrenaline. And defensive play is really underrated in the higher level leagues these days. You know, a lot of people like to do the quick rush strategies, you know, apply the pressure early to stop their opponent from teching. But, you know, if you can get yourself a nice solid defense, you can just tech away, and it looks like that may be what Adrenaline's doing. But I'm surprised we haven't seen any Stargates yet. It looks like we've got a gateway going down. I don't know, maybe just, you know, to get some ground forces in the event that this cannon wall fell, but it's a flying V, like I said before, so I don't think that's going anywhere. Well, technically, it's not flying, but, you know, it's on the ground, it's just as good. Coming back to the Terran, looks like we've got some missile turrets going up, so, you know, maybe he's saying, okay, I haven't been attacked in a while. You know, Protoss normally are fairly aggressive in the onset of the game, so maybe he's teching, and generally in Protoss tech, they tech to air, so I think these missile turrets are a very smart play by the Professor. Go! And we do have a starport going down. Interesting, I'm not really sure what we'll see out of there, but looks like we get a tech lab on the refinery. I mean, excuse me, tech lab on the factory, and researching siege mode for siege tanks. And building some siege tanks. So this is actually a great play from Adrenaline, because, you know, he's gonna need siege tanks to take down this cannon wall. And, you know, I don't think it's gonna go down anyway, but if he was gonna try to take it down, he would need some siege tanks. And over here, it looks like we've got some cannons working on the destructible rocks. Seems like Adrenaline in the future may be wanting to expand to this area up here. So that could be a very wise play, because you can't stay on you know, one base too long against Terran. They can just outproduce you so well on one base. You know, with all the mules, it's just it's unbearable to stay on one base. And look what we've got going down here: a Stargate, multiple Stargates, 3 Stargates now, a 4th Stargate. This is incredible. I mean, I've never seen this type of play before. Like I said before, though, he is the pioneer. You know, he's coming up with all these crazy build orders, and this is just, look at the synchronous of these Stargates. They're virtually all going up in sync, and it's just going to allow him to pump out a massive amount of Void Rays or Phoenixes or carriers all at the same time. They're going to be that much more effective. Now, if we look at the middle of the map over here, it looks like we have an early push coming from the Terran. He's got a handful of Marines here. Looks like about 10 Marines. And, okay, so I guess he hasn't actually located where his opponent was yet. Nobody scouted in the early game, as I said, because, you know, nobody in Diamond level scouts. Like, why would you scout when you virtually, you know what your opponent is doing? So he's just pushing out now, and he says, instead of sending one to scout, you know, which I just said is useless, I'm going to send the whole group. Because if I find something, you know, I want to be able to take it out. There's no sense in sending one Marine, you know, to go, oh, I found this thing. And then, you know, you give the time for the Protoss player to get some backup down there. No, you have to have your Marines all there at the same time. You know, you have to scout with your whole army. It just, there's no reason not to. It just wouldn't make sense not to. So it looks like he, the first place he checked was a miss, and as we can see here, he's going to check this bottom corner, but he's also going to come up empty. So it looks like Adrenaline, meanwhile, has actually expanded to this high ground area. He's got control of the Zelnaga watchtower to give him some extra sight over these destructible rocks. And let's see, we've got a looks like we've got air upgrades level 1 coming out of the cybernetics core. We've got a robotics facility. Looks like we're getting an observer to do a little bit of scouting late game. And another cybernetics core going up, so this is interesting play. Nothing out of these Stargates yet, so I'll just have to keep an eye. Over here, it looks like we've got just a ton of anti-air, you know, going up, some more Marines, some siege tanks.